How's it going, y'all?
And welcome to Bros. Today on Bros, we are talking Batman.
There's been tens of different adaptations of the Caped Crusader from comic books into movies and TV shows. Amongst these adaptations, we have seen some masterclasses from different actors which brought us the question, yet to be answered.
Who is the best Dark Knight?
We will be doing our absolute best to answer this crucial question.
We want our subjective opinions to have as little effect as possible. So in order to be objective, we designed the decision matrix that will help us give points to each Batman that we will talk about in this video.
To come up with this design, we researched the key elements that make the ideal Batman, and we created 6 categories by including these key elements. These categories are
moral code, power, detective abilities, symbol, Bruce Wayne, and costume.
Let's get into more details and create our ideal Batman according to these categories.
What is Bruce's motto to become Batman is the key question here. Does he want a nighttime attraction, or is he interested in beating up the bad guys?
Obviously not. Bruce's parents' murder in front of him that took place is the reason. On that night, the people who died were not Bruce's parents only, it was also Bruce himself. On that night, Batman was born. He promised himself that no one in Gotham will experience anything similar to what happened to him. He promised he will stop the crime in Gotham.
Batman's sense of justice is crucial in his making. He is a dark hero, and there has to be the difference between him and the villains that he is fighting. This is where no killing rule comes in place.
Batman or any of his partners do not kill. No matter what, this line cannot be crossed, as this line is what is keeping Batman from becoming a villain. He never makes anything personal. Also, Batman does not hold a gun. The weapon that murdered his parents cannot be used to take other lives.
The reason why Batman is wearing a cape and a mask is not only to protect his identity, but also the people around him. If everyone knows Batman is Bruce Wayne, people around him like Alfred, Dick Grayson, Barbara Gordon will all be in danger. Therefore, Batman must make sure his identity is hidden and his circle of trust should be picked carefully.
If people around Batman is constantly getting hurt, it is definitely his fault. Stories like Jason Todd made the character more realistic, which we are okay with, but there has to be a limit to it. For example, every villain of Batman should not know who Bruce Wayne is.
Batman does not have Superman strength like Superman, cannot run as fast as the Flash, or is not a member of the Green Lantern Corps, but he is as strong, skilled, and powerful as a human can get. When he adds these abilities with his Wayne tech, there is no superhero he cannot match.
The fuel for all of his skill comes from his indomitable will. He will never give up and determined to do the best. His willpower is so strong that he tolerates massive amounts of physical pain and resists mind control or telepathy.
Batman is at the peak of his human strength and conditioning. He goes through intense training, specialized diet, and treatments to keep his body in top condition. He is as close as it gets to perfection.
Batman shaped his raw strength in his travels to the Far East. He became a martial arts master in 127 different styles. His combat style is a mixture of these martial arts he has mastered.
He also became an expert on all types of weaponry through his martial arts training. With all of Batman's training, he is capable of fighting anyone, countering any style, and using any weapon when necessary.
There is one final thing that he mastered on his own in the streets of Gotham, and that is intimidation. He strikes fear into his opponents, which gives him an advantage before the actual fight begins.
Batman's detective abilities are as valuable as his power. He is always more than one step ahead of everyone when it comes to fighting crime.
Batman has genius-level intellect. He is regarded as one of the keenest analytical minds, not only on the planet but in the whole universe. He designed his Batcave to help him reach any information needed. His Batcomputer has the most detailed database that can connect any information to each other.
Finding information is not the limit of Batman's detective abilities. He is the master of shadows and can travel in the dark without getting noticed or leaving a trace. His interrogation techniques are not bound by the law. He uses fear to extract any necessary information. Also, he is fluent in many languages, which allows him to use his interrogation techniques on a wide range of people.
Batman becomes a symbol especially for Gotham. He's selfless and ready to do whatever is necessary for the greater good. Through his strong character, indomitable will, and just actions, he influenced millions of people and gave them hope, especially the ones around him.
His overall look and character are incredibly important in becoming a symbol. Batman strikes fear into his enemies. He is always formal, he doesn't talk when not needed or make stupid jokes. His strong voice helps all of this as well. There are two things that we will look at when it comes to his voice. Is it tough, and is it different than Bruce Wayne's voice?
Batman is not Bruce Wayne's secret identity. Bruce Wayne is Batman's secret identity. When we look at Bruce Wayne, we should not have any reason to think he's Batman. Bruce does not have a massive ego, and he's fine with looking like an idiot when it's necessary. He is not a hero.
What Bruce has to be is an eccentric billionaire. He should look sharp and have a charisma different than Batman's. Also, he should be a respected businessman. He does not have to run the whole company, but should be involved with it.
There's one massive part of Bruce Wayne's life that we care much about, and it's women. Bruce doesn't have time or space for a woman in his life. A woman is an attachment to his life, and there cannot be Batman when Bruce Wayne has his own life that he has to take care of. Therefore, he should not be revealing his secret identity to any women or be seriously involved with them, especially if they are interested in Bruce Wayne.
The costume is an extra section that we care about because Batman's appearance and tech on the suit are important.
Batman's utility belt, his armor on the suit, and the appearance of the costume are important.
We will be giving points out of 10 to the first 5 categories and add a maximum of 5 points from Batman's costume. A potential perfect Batman can get a 55.
Before we reveal our number 10, we would like to keep in mind that our rankings won't be directly affected by the quality of the movies or TV shows these characters played in. We are aware that a better movie will more likely have a better Batman, but it does not have to be the case. Now, let's move on to our number 10.
You apologise to the crowd at Comic-Con for Batman and Robin.
I always apologize for Batman.
This is probably enough to put George Clooney as the worst Batman on our list, but we will still spend some time explaining what was extremely wrong about Clooney's Batman.
Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman.
George Clooney played the Caped Crusader in Batman and Robin in 1997. Let's say what isn't bad with Clooney's Batman first. We thought his Bruce Wayne is alright. He's a charismatic businessman and popular in front of a crowd. He gives us the eccentric billionaire appearance. Also, his relationship with her girlfriend is acceptable as he's not planning to get married.
When it comes to his Batman, everything other than his moral code is terrible. We do not see him as a powerful Batman. His fighting scenes are hard to watch in the movie, and we do not see anything valuable when it comes to his detective abilities.
The worst part of Clooney's Batman is the symbol part. He's everything against what Batman's symbol should be. He's participating in public events, making jokes all the time, has terrible dialogue, and talks too much. You cannot even expect Batman to strike fear into a thug.
The total points Clooney's Batman collects out of 50 is 22. He gets an additional point of 1 from his costume. The costumes in this movie as bad as it gets, with their nipples and collars. We hardly gave 1 out of 5.
Tell me. Do you bleed?
Ben Affleck's Batman is a character that we will not see the full potential of. We told you that the quality of the movie doesn't directly affect the list, however, in Ben Affleck's case, they definitely hurt him. Affleck played Batman in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice and the Justice League, also made their cameo in the Suicide Squad. None of those movies were a success and caused Affleck to stop playing the character.
What are your superpowers again? I'm rich.
Affleck's Batman has a fundamental problem. He is willing to kill. In Batman v Superman, he nearly killed Superman if not for Martha.
We have to say he nearly succeeded, which proves how powerful he is. He is incredibly strong, has great fighting skills, and uses his weapons very well.
Other than that, Ben Affleck plays an average Batman. He is not doing outstanding in any category. We think he uses humor too much. He's not a genius level intellect and isn't a good Bruce Wayne, especially when it comes to his charisma and his image as a businessman.
There's one thing that we do not appreciate as well. Batman is using a voice enhancer to change his voice. We would prefer it if he used his own voice and altered it naturally.
They taught me the world only makes sense if you force it to.
Ben Affleck's Batman receives a 29 out of 50 and 4 additional points for his costume that tallies up to a 33. His costumes are looking very aesthetic, powerful, and has great tech.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
We have great respect for Michael Keaton for shaping the Batman we know today. Before Keaton, Batman did not have the figure he had, and we can say every Batman we watch today is an alternative version of Keaton's Batman.
However, as he is a first, he has a lot of things to criticize. He has the worst possible trait for a Batman. He is a killer. Keaton plays Batman in 1989 Batman and Batman Returns 1992, and he kills his enemies in both movies. His main villains, the Joker and the Penguin, both die, even though Batman did not kill them directly. But we saw him kill his other enemies, which we cannot accept.
Also, he is not choosing his circle of trust carefully. He not only revealed his identity to Vicky Vale, but also Catwoman and Max Shreck.
Also, we don't think he was a great detective. His Bat computer database is very detailed. However, Alfred is the one doing most of the research, which makes us doubt his intellect.
We can say he's a pretty good Bruce Wayne with his appearance, charisma, and look like a businessman and a billionaire. Also, we are believing the fact that his disguise is Bruce Wayne, not Batman.
It's Japanese.
How do you know?
Because I bought it in Japan.
This is one of the scenes that we appreciate the most. This scene proves that Bruce had his martial arts training. We understand Batman 1989 was limited by the technology of the time and understand why the fighting scenes were not great. But this scene makes us believe he had his martial arts training and he was a weapons master.
Keaton's Batman is a brilliant symbol for Gotham. We like his overall character and dialogue with his allies and enemies. He creates a good figure for Batman both inside the movie and outside the movie as a role model for the future Batmans. Michael Keaton's Batman gets a 31 out of 50 and tallies his points to a 35, with getting 4 points for his costume. His costume is iconic and we think 4 out of 5 is fair.
We would not have put Val Kilmer above Michael Keaton if it is not for our decision matrix. But after watching the movies and looking at our categories, we found out that Val Kilmer was done dirty by the quality of the movie Batman Forever, not his performance. Our favorite part of his character is his performance as Bruce Wayne. He is near perfect as Bruce Wayne. What we do not like about him is that he is not a great Batman. He feels a little too soft.
Hang this next to the Batsuit, where it belongs.
In this scene, Robin is bossing Batman, which is unacceptable. Batman's word is final and there should be no exceptions.
He makes unnecessary jokes and we don't think he is a hero that will frighten his enemies. Also, we do not like his relationship with Dr. Chase Meridian. He visits her as Batman in her house, which is unlike Batman. These scenes are the reason we say Val Kilmer is done dirty by the quality of the movie.
The second major issue with Batman is that the villains Two-Face and the Riddler figure out Batman is Bruce Wayne. He fails to keep his secret identity.
Val Kilmer's Batman receives a 33 out of 50 and adds up to 35 with his costumes.
Killing Joke did not become a successful story, but it was an interesting movie. We see an older version of Batman, close to his late 40s, and he's living on the edge. He's as dark as it gets and does not tolerate any mistakes, which we can see from his relationship with Batgirl.
You want to work with me? You do what I say.
And that's it? You speak and the words are law?
Yes.
He is extremely tough and looks tired of being Batman, but continues as it is his duty. He is near flawless with his sense of justice.
I spoke with Commissioner Gordon before I came in here. He told me he wanted this done by the book.
His effect on Gotham and detective abilities were top-notch as well. However, we have mentioned that this is an older version of Batman, and the main character is the Joker and then Batgirl. Batman is the person who solves the cases. That is why we do not see his fighting skills and do not observe him as Bruce Wayne.
Killing Joke Batman is not a very detailed Batman, but has a story that we enjoyed watching. He receives a 38 out of 50 and gets a +4 for his costume.
Under the Red Hood portrays an older version of Batman, just like the Killing Joke. We are seeing how Batman's failure affects the rest of Gotham. It is great to see the dynamics between Batman and ex-Robin Jason Todd. Through this dynamic, we can see the characteristics of Batman and his past relationship with Robin.
Get on out here or I'm going on patrol without you.
We do not get to see Bruce Wayne just like the Killing Joke. We can see Batman's power in his fighting with Amazo and his skills when taking down the Red Hood. He's a great detective, he gets every information that he needs, and also we are satisfied with the image he created, but what we are impressed by the most is his moral code. Under the Red Hood, Batman is flawless when it comes to the sense of justice. He doesn't make anything personal and works by the book. He is tested on an extreme level with the Joker and Jason. Batman acts perfectly in this scene and sets an example for Jason.
Under the Red Hood, Batman gives us a masterclass performance and gets a 40 out of 50. His costume is adding 4 extra points, which tally up to a total of 44.
The Dark Knight trilogy is the best superhero trilogy we have ever seen, and we don't think anyone can top it. Christian Bale's Batman is the best Batman that we will ever see in the live action as well. And we are a little too harsh to pick him at number 4. We don't have a lot of negatives to say about Bale, as we enjoy his performance every time we watch it. The influence he has over Gotham and his symbol are perfect. We love his backstory, it is incredibly unique. He has gone through a very hard time before realizing his path, and also how he was trained by Ra's al Ghul. That is a dynamic we might never see again.
The training is nothing. The will is everything. The will to act.
What we admire the most about Bale's Batman is how complete his character is. In a period of 3 movies, we experience the young, prime and old Batman, and all of them are incredibly satisfying and brings a new dynamic. The first movie gives us the origin of the Dark Knight. Then we get to see how great of a superhero he is. And we end up with his legacy. He becomes an icon in 3 movies.
Hero can be anyone, even a man doing something as simple and reassuring as putting a coat around a young boy's shoulders.
He gets nearly full points from each and every category due to his near perfect performance. He even gives us the message that we want to hear the most. There cannot be a personal life for Bruce Wayne when there is Batman. He cannot be with Rachel because he has to continue to be Batman. When Batman dies, he can live a life with Selina Kyle.
There is one thing that we can criticize, and that is because we are being too picky. When we look at Christian Bale's Batman, we think about Bruce Wayne, not Batman.
He's such a great Bruce Wayne that we don't think him as Batman first, which is his main failure.
Christian Bale's Batman gets 44 points and adds a +4 with his costumes. In total, he gets a 48 score rating.
A lot of you watching might criticize us or even dislike the video because Bale is at number 4. We would have acted similarly a couple months back, however hear us out in our top 3 picks and watch these last 3 Batman if you have not watched them before.
Forgot that was there.
Injustice and Injustice 2 are console games with a story mode that portrays an alternate universe where Superman has become a tyrant due to Lois's death, and there is only the Batman that can stand up to him. The scenario Batman is in here cannot get any tougher.
He has to fight his best friend who happens to be the strongest creature in the entire world, maybe the universe. The mental and physical burden he is under is extreme, and how he deals with that makes us admire him. Batman is tested in every way, in the hardest way, and still comes up on top and saves the world.
Batman's relationship with Superman and other superheroes prove to us his influence, power, superiority over them.
There's no regime. Not anymore. So we do not kill.
He is feared by anyone against him. His will is unbreakable. He is against the toughest opponents possible, Superman, Wonder Woman, Brainiac, but he never gives up. His technology, detective abilities, and genius help him be one step ahead of everyone against him. The unfortunate part for him is that everyone around him is hurt in one way or another. He could not prevent Luz's death, which he accounts himself responsible for. Most of the Justice League members are dead as well, and he lost Damian Wayne, his son, who kills Dick Grayson, and many others.
You stopped being my son when you killed Dick Grayson. He was my son.
Batman failed a lot in this universe due to the strength of his opponents. No one was able to break him, but people around him are not that lucky. In Justice, Batman receives a 45 out of 50 and 4 out of 5 for his costumes.
Do you want to know something funny? Even after everything you've done, I would have saved you.
Batman Arkham is a series of video games consisting of Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Origins, and Arkham Knight. The video games portray the detective nature of Batman perfectly. There's a whole lot of research, detective clues, and interrogation. Wayne Tech is at its peak, and Batman uses his gadgets more than the combination of all other Batmans on the list. He is incredibly powerful as well. As this is an action game, Batman has unlimited amount of fighting combos.
Batman as Bruce Wayne is also very satisfying. He is very active in Gotham and has a lot of fame.
Who else would jump off a building to save your sorry ass?
You know, officer. I was wondering the same thing myself.
Batman's dynamic with Joker is incredible in this story. Joker tests Batman's moral code in every single game, one way or another, but Batman is able to stay sane.
There is one big criticism that we can make on Batman though. There seem to be a lot of people who know the secret identity of Batman. His allies, which include Lucius Fox, Barbara Gordon, Jim Gordon, Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake and Alfred know about Batman, which is normally fine. But they do get hurt quite a lot for being close to Batman.
Also, a lot of his enemies seem to know his identity as well, which includes Bane, possibly Catwoman, and definitely Scarecrow. Actually, when Scarecrow finds out about this, everyone in the world learns about it as well. Batman's circle of trust is extremely wide, which ends his career as Batman at the end of Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight ends with Batman's ultimate sacrifice, which makes him a legend, kind of like the ending of Dark Knight Rises. The figure he created is extremely strong.
As a whole, Arkham Batman gets a 45 out of 50, just like Injustice Batman, but his suit gets a 5 out of 5, which gives him the edge. Every suit that he uses is extremely durable, strong, and is filled with Wayne Tech. If he had the iconic white eyes, we would not have anything to add to it.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman!
He's our number 1 Batman. We have revealed our point rankings in the end, but we don't need to for the DCAU Batman. He gets a perfect 50 out of 50 score.
DCAU is the peak of DC. The complexity of the characters, the quality of the stories, and last but not least, the planning behind it is absolutely perfect, which is what the DCEU is missing today. In the center of this perfection lies Batman.
He was introduced to the public in 1990 and still continues to live on. He has starred in Batman the Animated Series, the new Batman Adventures, Justice League Unlimited, Batman Beyond, and had cameos in Superman the Animated Series.
He also featured in the movies Mask of the Phantasm, Sub-Zero, Batman Beyond: The Return of the Joker, The Mystery of the Batwoman, Batman and Harley Quinn, and Justice League vs. the Fatal Five.
When you look at the amount of content out there, you can imagine how much development has gone into the character of Batman.
We observe every stage of the DCAU Batman's career. Mask of the Phantasm shows us his early years and how he became Batman. We see his prime in the animated series.
And listen good. You don't touch anything, say anything, or do anything unless I tell you. Got it?
Yes, sir.
And we see him with his partners Robin, Batgirl, and Nightwing in the new Adventures.
Hey, no one can be a boy wonder forever.
He then co-founds the Justice League with his fellow superheroes, and we can view his perfectly developed character facing new challenges, meeting new heroes, and saving the world.
I'm not really a people person, but when you need help, and you will, call me.
We can even see how he retired in Batman Beyond and how he worked with the new Batman, Terry McGinnis.
Shui, huh?
Yes, dear. Very shui.
We don't need to explain what he does right or wrong, as we already mentioned how the perfect Batman should be at the beginning of the video.
There are two extra qualities that we are amazed by, so we want to add those as well. One of them is that he can speak every language. And he's an escape artist, which allows him to escape anytime he is held somewhere.
Also, he uses the shadows like no other Batman.
Tell me about Faust.
It is genuinely impossible to talk about every positive of this Batman, but you can be sure we will talk a lot about him on this channel in the future.
The only thing that could have been improved is Batman's costume. He gets a 4 out of 5 for the costume, as there wasn't anything special with his costume.
This concludes our top 10 rankings for Batman. We would love to hear your opinions about our list.
Be sure to add your best Batman in the comments down below.
And also, we have a few notes that we would like to share to be entirely clear.
We did not include any Batman prior to Michael Keaton, as he set the standard for the character Batman.
Also, Batman in TV shows Titans or Gotham is not included, as we did not see their primes. To be on our list, we have to see a detailed story of Batman between Batman First Year and the Justice League.
Lastly, we have to pay our respect to Kevin Conroy.
He is the voice of 4 different Batmans on this list, including the DCAU Batman, the Killing Joke Batman, Injustice Batman, and the Arkham Batman.
Without him, this character wouldn't be this successful or popular.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel to have more content from DC Comics. Thank you for watching this video, we hope you have enjoyed it, and for now,
B-Bros out.